Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
I've done videos before about predatory towing practices. That is, companies that tow vehicles quite aggressively. And we've also seen it where you're someplace in your vehicle and you're looking for a place to park and you see signs. No parking here. Cars will be towed by this company. If your car disappears, call them. And a lot of times it's because one business has too many people parking in their spaces to go to another business, that kind of thing. But Walmart also has it, apparently, in some places. If your car is parked wrong or somehow violating their rules, it'll get towed. So here's a story where a woman's car got towed from a Walmart parking lot, and the story got so much pushback when it aired that Walmart refunded her money to her that she had to pay to get her car back, and then also cut the towing company loose. Now, I'm not a big fan of everybody should lose their jobs. There's always this knee-jerk reaction where somebody does something bad, fire them. They should lose their job. They should never work again. I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, I've seen some situations, but here, the towing company will get by. They just lost one contract. So Robert and a whole bunch of other people sent this to me. Thank you very much. Out of Portsmouth, Virginia, and Andy Fox wrote the story for WAVY. Walmart pays back towed customer and fires the towing company. So people often shop at the Walmart on Frederick Boulevard, go inside, and when they come back out, their cars are gone. And believe it or not, you could easily get a ride, because apparently they provide them, out to the tow yard where you can get your car back if you pay $375. So back in December, a woman who is disabled and has a disabled placard on her rearview mirror said her car was wrongly towed by a towing company which has the contract, or had the contract, to tow cars from that Walmart. She said, as a shopper of Walmart, I no longer want to go to Walmart because I don't know if my car is going to be gone. At the time, she showed WAVY a photo of her car and the company telling her that it was keeping another car from the parking spot next to it. So in other words, there's parking spots that are marked with lines. And she says, she admits this, that she parked her car and her tire was on the line. But she said she had to do that because the car in the lot, or the space next to it, was also over the line. And we've seen that happen also. So someone parks bad, and there's a parking space here, so you got to park bad. And when they leave, now you look like an idiot. But there's an explanation for it, right? Well, so she said, this is my vehicle, and this is the right side back tire, and it's crossed the line. They indicated that it was preventing another car from parking in the next spot. She says, I think they were wrong. So the TV station confronted the towing company, and supervisors did not want to appear on camera, but they later came to the TV station and brought photographs which showed the tires were over the line into the next parking space. And again, this is something pretty cool. When I drove a tow truck back in 1980 and 81, we didn't have cell phones. So I didn't get to photograph all the stuff I saw. These guys can walk right up, photograph what they think they see, and then tow a vehicle. And they go, well, I got photographs. I can show you. I can show this to you. So the man says, why did we tow her? Because she was double parked. It's over the line. But when the TV station asked about the fact that she was over the line because somebody else is over the line, the supervisor said, no, that I don't believe that's true. So they then asked the supervisor, well, she's disabled. Could you give her a break? And this supervisor from the towing company said, we are doing what Walmart wanted us to do. So they're saying that Walmart told them, you tow vehicles, if they park over the line, you tow them. Get them out of here. So now it turns out that that company's no longer towing for Walmart. And the woman whose vehicle is towed contacted the TV station and said that. And so she apparently sent an email to Walmart's CEO as well as their head of marketing. And she says, anyone else I could find from the CEO all the way down. She said, I couldn't sleep because of this. I wanted my money back, but I couldn't sleep. And it gave me nightmares because it just wasn't fair. And not just me. There were others that may not have had that money to get their car. So the TV station went to Walmart to speak to the store manager, but the store manager referred the TV station to corporate. But here's the thing. The TV station was then contacted by the woman whose car was towed. And she said, hey, guess what? I just got a note from the store manager, and it says, I've received your request for reimbursement. Please come at your convenience to receive your money. So just going to pay your money back. So she said, I came back on Saturday. They did give me my money back in cash, $375. She also wrote that she did work to have the towing company held responsible here. And she said, as of 12/24/24, they're no longer allowed on the property. So the story actually happened a couple months ago, but it's in the news now because I've been getting all kinds of requests about the story. And in case you're curious about whether or not this is really true, like, how do we know they cut the towing company loose? It turns out that the towing enforced signs and the ones specifically saying who will tow your vehicle have all been removed from that store. So the woman says, I'm thinking about a civil lawsuit because I get upset about it. And I'm upset, and it's much deeper than $375 because it appears to be a target towards the handicapped. And now this is an interesting thing because remember that her car was parked with a tire over the line. So her car technically was parked improperly. Most people would say, however, limited number of handicapped spots, the other person parked that way, so you got to park this way. Most people would say that's okay. But her car being towed and the towing company going, we were just told to tow it. I'm not sure how great that lawsuit would be, especially when you got your $375 back. But again, this is all happening down in Virginia, so who knows, because I'm only licensed to practice law in Michigan. She added this when asked about what her thoughts were. She said, just don't give up. If you feel you've been done wrong, something's not right, speak up, stand up, don't give up. Because that's why we're here. Don't give up. She also said this about the TV station. I mean, what you did was huge, and I'm really grateful. With all the people who email you, you chose me. I just felt like somebody has to stand up for what's right, and I know that you and 10 on your side is all about telling what's right. And I've mentioned before, I'm going to do it again, that sometimes when somebody shines the bright light of the media on a story, it'll occasionally make things happen. And, I've heard so many stories in my life, both after I became an attorney and before, of people who had things happen to them that were wrong on some level, and yet complained to a whole bunch of people and nothing ever happens. And so here, she started complaining, nothing happened. She complains to the TV station, they get involved, and suddenly something happens. And the weird thing about this one is the $375 in cash that she was refunded to a store like Walmart, to a corporation like Walmart, as you can imagine, is virtually nothing. It's virtually nothing. Now, I'm not saying that Walmart should be out handing out cash because it's nothing. It all adds up. And so they have to look at these things on a case-by-case basis, cost-benefit analysis, and all that, and ask themselves what's the right thing to do, both for our public relations and for our business and so on and so forth. They're not going to just hand somebody money because they asked for it. I understand that. I'm not saying that. What I'm pointing out, though, is it sounds like she had a very good argument. And it reminds me of a time I spoke at the University of Michigan Dearborn campus. I spoke to a class about the Italian Hall disaster, and I spoke there in the wintertime. And when I got there, the snow had fallen, and the parking lot had not been plowed, and people had simply parked in rows, and you could see these kind of rows that people had parked in that were fairly close, but there was, cars, nose to nose like this, and then nose to nose like this. And apparently, as the day progressed, the plows would go through the parking lot and clear what they could. And as they cleared the sections where the lines were, people would then come in and park between the lines. And I came out at one point, and I discovered that somebody had parked behind me because my car was parked between the lines, coincidentally, but over here. And I thought I'd pulled in here with somebody supposed to be here, when in reality, I had pulled in here and somebody else could park here. And somebody had parked here. And when I walked out to my car, there's a car parked here, a car parked here, and a car parked here. One in front of me and one in back of me. Now, if you came out there and looked at that, you'd go, who's that idiot that's parked in front of Steve's car? Because they're in the middle of the aisle. But when they parked, you couldn't see the lines at all. And as the day wore on, you could see the lines. So things like this can happen, and you got to stop and think about it for a second. But I mean, we've all seen a situation. I can tell you there's a store I shop at, and it has a fire lane. Fire lane, clearly marked. Fire lane. There's probably 20 signs. Fire lane, no parking, fire lane. Every single time I go to the store, there's somebody parked in the fire lane or sitting in the fire lane in their car, but they're waiting for somebody inside. And they don't want to wait in a parking spot because it's easier to wait here. It's easier to wait here. And I once had someone call me and they go, I got a ticket because I parked in a fire lane. And I said, okay, did you? They, yes. Okay, what do you want me to do about it? Can you fight it for me? And I go, fighting a parking ticket when you did what you're accused of, and there's not much you can plea bargain them down to, what do you want me to do again? Because you're going to pay me. And the judge is going to go, you're parked in a fire lane. Of course. But again, here, one tire over the line. She says she did that because the other car was parked one tire over the line, and she got her car towed. So there you go. Robert, everybody else sent it. Thanks a lot. From Portsmouth, Virginia, WAVY, Andy Fox reports, Walmart pays back the towed customer and cuts the towing company loose. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. I run 6 to 8 miles a day, plus weights and aerobics in the lunch hour. I also lie a lot, which keeps me thin.